There's a special kind of pride that you feel deep down inside, a strength that seems to thrive in Lima, Allen County.
The American way of life, to get in gear and do what's right.
An unbreakable forthright link called Real American Strength. Lima, Allen County, Real American Strength.
Forever moving forward without forgetting where we've been.
Creativity meets technology, where possibilities never end.
Ohio's strong Midwestern know-how, exploring innovative ideas.
Deep rooted but always growing, ever proud of where we live. Lima, Allen County, Real American Strength.
Community Focus on GTV2 Lima.
Thanks for joining us today on Community Focus. I'm Anne Decker. Lima City Council has approved the city's 2012 budget. Here in the studio to talk about it is Lima's Finance Director Steve Cleaves. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here, Anne.
How much does the budget total this year?
Well, our general fund budget is $26.5 million on the expenditure side, and we are estimating that our revenues are going to be higher than that. In the official budget, we're showing a surplus of about $50,000. That's very conservative. If the economy maintains its recovery, I would expect it to grow to a surplus of something over $200,000.
Wonderful. Now, $26.5 million is actually down from where it was last year, correct?
Yes, from the original budget, it's quite a reduction. We cut about $2.7 million off of that budget, which is it's almost 10%, and a lot of that is due to the fact that we have reduced our labor cost. There's a $400,000 reduction in overtime cost, and we have not replaced attrition basically throughout the city, except in the fire department where we actually added some manpower, and we have been replacing attrition in the police department also. But in all the other areas, the restriction on hiring has been very strict, and we have partially made up for that by hiring a temporary workforce in critical areas where we just had to have someone, and the combination of all that has resulted in the budget cuts.
Now, when you talk about critical areas, what kind of services are we going to see reduced to the public as a result of this?
Well, you know, we really have not reduced services. You know, we did close 2 fire stations, but we added manpower, and at the remaining 2 outstations and Central, there is additional manpower. So there are additional people on the fire trucks. So when they do arrive at a scene from one of the outstations, they are immediately able to address the fire. When previously there were only 2 men on a truck, and they would have to wait for help to arrive before they could enter the structures.
Are there things around the city that are just not getting done because of the budget cuts?
Well, in the I would say in the code enforcement area, they are short property inspectors. So they are working diligently, and they are getting around to where the complaints are. But when you have 3 or 4 inspectors instead of 5 or 6, you know, obviously it takes them a bit longer to get the work done. There's
really not much of an opportunity to be proactive. They're pretty much just responding to complaints at this point? Yes,
they have always, they have primarily responded to complaints that they receive from residents in a neighborhood about a particular property. Although they do drive through and they see, you know, homes that are obviously in need of repair or that are in violation of city codes.
Yeah, we had a pretty warm winter, and so we didn't have a lot of plowing. There wasn't a lot of salt usage. Is that going to help the budget too?
Well, yes, there wasn't as much usage of salt. That's actually a pretty small item, and you know, we have winter at the end of 2012, and who knows what that's going to be. So I mean, we do have an inventory of salt. I don't expect we'll have to buy any additional salt through the end of the year. Maybe we will. We'll just have to wait and see.
Let's not jinx ourselves. In terms of the state budget cuts we've been facing, do you anticipate any more coming down the pike that you need to be planning for?
Well, there are more coming down the pike, and we have planned for them. We lost $1.1 million in this go-around. We know that we're going to lose about $750,000 in estate taxes in 2013, and we'll be losing close to $500,000 in local government funds also in the state's biennium budget, which will be approved, in June, and it runs through the summer of 2013.
So how is the city going to cope with that?
Well, that is why we made such a drastic cut. We are expecting increases in the income tax as the economy recovers, and we have seen that gradually. We get about $15–16 million in income taxes, so just a 2% growth rate is, it's over $300,000. So, we're expecting a $300,000 to $500,000 in income tax, and in other revenue areas we could pick up another, $500,000 or so. So, and we started the year with a very large cash balance, $4.7 million, which is the largest, I think, in history. I was going back last week trying to see when we were at that level, and we never have been. So that 4.7 is going to be drawn down. Once we get through the state budget cuts, and once we fund 6 police officers, which are now being funded by a COPS grant, we'll probably get that cash balance down to somewhere between 3.5, maybe as low as 3. But that'll be through 2014, so that'll allow us 2 years of growth, and I believe we will be able to maintain that cash balance for the foreseeable future. You can't, at least 3 to 4 years, something like that, and then it'll depend on what the economy's doing.
I know you plan several years ahead. Do you see us getting back on a more solid footing in the near future? And at what point do you see the city being comfortable again?
Well, a lot of it depends on the national economy. The city doesn't lead the national economy or the state economy. We're smaller. The government entity that you're relying on the surrounding area. It's more of it's the economic health of the area, or the region, or the state, or the state's region. So that's really the key. And we came through this recession, which started in 2008, by anticipating it, and we made some cuts at the time and had hiring freezes. A lot of people wondered why we were doing that, and I think it worked out to the betterment of the community thus far, and I think we are on a solid basis going forward.
Yeah, your foresight and planning have really helped the city carry through the recession and hopefully back into the recovery as well.
Well, we've had a lot of cooperation from the unions. They have accepted wage increases and reduction in their health care benefits, which have been quite substantial. And there's been quite a lot of help in the safety services area, in the fire department and the police departments. And that all can't be done without the active help of the unions and the leadership of those safety service agencies.
Is there anything else you'd like the folks to know about the city's budget?
Well, we are on track to make a good recovery going forward, and we're hoping to replace some of those temporary workers and add personnel, especially in the safety services area.
All right. Thank you for coming in today.
Okay, thank you.
Steve Cleaves, Lima's Finance Director. When we come back, we'll tell you about Coffee with a Cop right after this on GTV2.
El cáncer de pecho conduce a la muerte entre las mujeres españolas y latinos. Es muy importante que hacen su examen de mamografía cada año.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Here at the Humane Society of Allen County, we're proud to be the home of many great animals looking for many great homes. Over the past few decades, we've given thousands of animals hope of a new life. And we want to share our shelter's passion with you because we can't do it alone. To see how you can help animal advocacy in our community, please visit us at hsoac.org. It's never too late to help support the Humane Society of Allen County. Please visit us at hsoac.org.
Welcome back to Community Focus. I'm Anne Decker, and in the studio with me today are Lima Police Chief Kevin Martin and Nell Lester, who is the head of LACNIP this year, which is Lima Allen County Neighborhoods in Partnership. And you have a fun new initiative coming up called Coffee with a Cop.
Yes, we do. It originally started with Connie Dersham looking online at different things that we could do to incorporate with the police officers something with LACNIP. And she came across a thing in California, I believe, that was with Coffee with the Cop, and she sent it to Chief, and I always meet with her on Wednesday mornings, and she looked at me and she says, "What do you think?" I said, "This is great." She says, "I already spoke to the guy and they think that it's a winner." And we went from there, and what it is to make the community feel comfortable talking to the police officers. And so, where else but Coffee with the Cop? McDonald's and LACNIP are sponsoring it this year.
Now, when are you doing this?
We are going to be doing this. The first one will take place at the downtown McDonald's on Market Street, and it will be from 9 to 11 on March 31st.
And Chief, you're going to be there, some of your officers. What's your role?
Well, yes, I will be there along with the various division majors at the police department, and we'll have a few other personnel as our staffing allows us for that day. And in addition to the Lima Police Department, the Allen County Sheriff's Department will have representatives there, including Sheriff Sam Krish. And the idea is just really so that we can have an informal setting where we sit down and speak with people. Because again, the community, every day I bump into people that have questions, and they're usually people that know me, and they will stop and talk to me. But a lot of times, for people that maybe don't know me or don't know a specific police officer, they may not feel as comfortable being able to just come up and
Sure.
talk about whatever's on their mind.
It's intimidating.
And so this is just a way of, again, trying to take some of that intimidation out of it, make it more informal, but yet at the same time make it meaningful, so that if people have questions or if they have concerns, they can express them to us. And it just allows us another communication tool with the public.
Questions or concerns at any level, from like major stuff going on in their neighborhoods to just questions about how things work?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's one of the reasons why before, when we had the community policing forums, I think those were beneficial, but what we found was the number of people that were attending those was steadily declining. And people I had spoken with, they said part of it was that, because that was more formalized, where we would present a topic and we would stand up there and tell people basically what we thought they wanted to hear, or what they wanted us to talk about. But this gives the community a chance to bring their concerns and issues to us without us being the ones to dictate how the conversation will go.
And then what? You're taking notes, following up?
Yeah, and a lot of it will depend on the issues that are raised. Obviously, if it's questions of a more general nature, we'll do our best to get the information or to explain the things to people to satisfy their questions. But if it's concerns, maybe crime problems that are going on in the neighborhood, or perhaps traffic complaints, maybe speeding, stop sign running, that type of thing in a specific area, then yes, we will be taking notes on that, and we'll make sure that that information gets to the appropriate people, and that whatever action may be appropriate on it will be followed up on.
Okay. Nell, how often do you anticipate holding these?
Well, we'd like to have we're hoping to hit all of the McDonald's in town. But we're going to see how this one goes first, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, so what, every couple months maybe, every few months?
Quarterly.
Once
Quarterly?
Quarterly.
Okay.
We're hoping for.
Great. You also have another event coming up that we want to touch on before we go, and that is the International Festival.
Yes.